The Supreme Court dropped two more historic rulings today with impacts right here in Louisville. Let's take a closer look at what was decided. The first is a case we've been following for the last year. The Supreme Court sided with an Oregon town which bans people from sleeping outdoors despite having no available space in shelters. Kentucky passed a similar law making camping outdoors on public land illegal. Well, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3. Deciding that fining the homeless does not qualify as cruel and unusual punishment. Justice Kagan dissented on this, but Justice Roberts joined the opinion, saying the root of the problem is not having enough shelters.
For a homeless person who has no place to go, sleeping in public is kind of like breathing in public.
This is a serious policy problem. And it's a policy problem because the solution, of course, is to build shelter, to provide shelter for those who are otherwise harmless.
It is not clear who can enforce the ban or how it will be enforced. State Representative Jared Bauman was the sponsor behind Kentucky's camping ban. He said in part the opinion also highlights how crucial it is that homeless individuals participate in such services. Further, the opinion recognizes that we can't ignore the public safety and private property interests involved in this complex issue.
I don't know what people are supposed to do. Shelter is full each and every night. We have a abysmally low number of shelter options. Each night, 1,600 people are homeless in Louisville, and we only have about 800 shelter spaces to cover that difference. Each day, our staff field the calls to reserve beds, and they are full by 10:30 at the latest sometimes. We have families on the shelter waiting list. Like, people have nowhere to go, and I don't know what I'm supposed to tell people each and every day.
And that was right there was a representative with the Coalition for the Homeless in Louisville. He said he wasn't surprised by the Supreme Court's decision, but he does hope Mayor Greenberg's administration will focus on creating more shelter options and affordable housing across all parts of our community. He says ultimately that is what's going to get people into housing and off the streets, not living in their cars. The next decision was in favor of a protester who allegedly stormed the Capitol on January 6th. The High Court's ruling narrows the charges people can face in this case. It could also impact the more than 300 people charged right now, including several from Kentucky. Attorneys were using a broad financial crimes law to prosecute these cases.
It's not that prosecutors could never charge, storming the Capitol under this provision of law, but there needs to be, again, a connection to the destruction of records and documents, not just, blocking a proceeding.
The Supreme Court made it clear that prosecutors can retain obstruction charges if they're framed differently. More than 15 Kentuckians have been implicated in the January 6th riot.